Coach, let me start by congratulating you on Saturday night's 52-14 win. I know Hawaii was a pretty beat-up team, maybe not the best competition you'll face, but there's something to be said about just getting back into the win column. Should that help the confidence of your team?
Well, I certainly hope so, and normally it does when you have a good game where you play well on both offense and defense and play pretty well special teams. It usually gives your team a little confidence.
Did you feel like you got a good read on your team after that game, or was Hawaii so banged up that you didn't get a real good read on your team?
Well, I think Hawaii was beat up and tired football team, but they have more talent than they're showing. So I thought we matched up pretty good, but it's not a real indication. It just gave us a little chance to work on some things and get back into the groove. And as the teams get better, hopefully that helps.
You know, after the game, you did mention that you thought the Aztecs would have to play a lot better the rest of the season if they hope to win a lot of games. You've been very hard on this team, at least publicly in the media. Do the players respond to that? I know that's your coaching style, but how do you feel about that every game?
I think that when you coach, you have to coach to your own personality, and usually when you coach like you were coached. So I think they're used to it. I think they respond pretty well to it. Most of them respond very well to it, and some don't. But I think you can't fool kids. So you got to be yourself, and if you're not yourself, they'll figure you out to be a phony.
Well, one of the things that certainly was not phony the other night was the performance of your quarterback, Ryan Katz, especially running the football. I thought Coach Ludwig, your offensive coordinator, came up with some big-time plays for him to get him out and get him free. I mean, you don't see quarterbacks running for 34, 27-yard touchdowns very often and not having a hand laid on them.
Well, I thought Coach Ludwig and the offensive staff did a great job of designing some plays that they thought could take advantage of Hawaii's defense with Ryan running the ball. Whenever you have the quarterback like they do in the Wildcat, as soon as you have a quarterback that can run with the ball, you get an extra blocker in there. And if you can get people flowing to the ball, some of those plays were counter-type plays that allowed opening for Ryan, and Ryan really runs with the ball well, as we all know. He made some good plays scrambling, too.
How do you balance Ryan Katz? I mean, you want him to be able to use his legs, but you also, if the play is a pass, you want to make sure he's giving it every opportunity to succeed. How do you coach a kid like that and strike the right balance between pass and run?
Well, I think a quarterback, and he's an experienced quarterback, a quarterback has to have a stopwatch in his head. He's got to be able to realize when the rush is getting ready to get to him and take off. Otherwise, he has to be patient in the pocket and wait for some receivers to come open. Now, we're going to use Ryan the best way we can, but you don't want to overuse him running the ball because he could get beat up.
Rocky Long, after the Aztecs' 52-14 victory over Hawaii on Saturday night, evening their record at 3-3. Talk about how your pass defense came out of this game. Hawaii only had 112 yards through the air, and based on what you had done in the previous 2 or 3 games, you have to be at least a little satisfied with that performance.
Well, I think we made it a lot simpler for our defensive backs, and we weren't playing against the same type of offense. And we got better heat out of the front four. So it all added together to a pretty good performance in pass defense. This week we don't know. They run some spread stuff. They might go to total spread offense, but I think we match up pretty good against pro offenses, but we have yet to prove that we can do it against a spread offense.
Talking to Aztecs coach Rocky Long with us here on Extra Sports 1360. Coach, I know you had a bunch of high school recruits in. I understand you can't talk about any of them specifically, but tell me about how you use the Sky Show game in particular with all those fans, and what will you do? Will you meet with every recruit that you bring in for the game? How does that work on a game day situation?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, anybody that we're recruiting that we've offered or are thinking about offer, we invite to every game. So we can give them 4 tickets or 4 admissions, and they can come to any home game they want to. Now, obviously, they like to come to games where you have fireworks or come to games where there's a big crowd. And we usually have a place where they meet, so they can have some refreshments if they want to. Now, they have to pay for it. It's an unofficial visit. We let them come down on the field and watch warm-ups, then we have to send them back in the stands. And coaches that recruit their area will go up and say hi to them and see how they're doing. But our primary purpose on game day is our team. Now, we like to have them there, and we think it helps when we have a big crowd. It helps in recruiting, and the Sky Show really helps in recruiting. But our primary goal is to have our team ready to play, and you have to spend some time with the recruits, but you can't spend too much time.
How about King Holder's performance at the corner position on Saturday night? Came up, made some nice tackles for you. I thought he defended the pass pretty well. That was a change that you made in your secondary, and I thought the young guy from Oceanside High acquitted himself well.
Yeah, I thought King had a pretty good game. It was the first time he started. Now, he's played a lot because we alternate a lot of guys on defense, and we've been alternating three corners, and King is the third corner that's been in and out. Josh Wade had a little bit of a bum leg, so he wasn't 100%, so we decided to start early in the week. We decided to start King. I thought he played very, very well, and hopefully that'll give him confidence for the rest of the year.
You held Colin Lockett out of the game. I know he was trying to nurse, I think it was an ankle injury. Health-wise, how's the team looking moving forward?
Well, everybody, we have some that are beat up, but everybody's been cleared to practice and supposed to be full on Tuesday, which is a good sign.
All right, Colorado State coming up. They're struggling a little bit as well. What do you look for from the Rams?
Well, Colorado State is much better than Hawaii. I mean, they're not beat up. They've got a few injuries, just like everybody and all that, but they play a really good defense. They move the ball. They've got really good skill at wide receiver, and then they have a running back that tore us up last year. So I think it's going to be quite a challenge, and we better get ready to play like we did last week.
Homecoming, how will you use that for your team? I mean, do you bring a guy like Marshall Faulk in? Will he talk to the team this week? How do you use that when so many Aztecs come back for a game like this?
Well, you try to have them around the team at practice, so they're all invited. All the ex-players are invited to practice anytime they want to come. Most of them get together a little bit. Now, if we have a special guy like Marshall that wants to do it, we let him talk to the team. But we have a lot of former Aztecs on our staff, and they tend to talk to the team before games.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you the best of luck. You're back to 500. Let's get over that 500 mark this week against CSU.
Well, we're certainly going to try. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.